Good evening. I'd like to call this meeting for the city of San Juan at 6 p.m. May we rise for invocation? Mr. Orjona, can you lead us, sir?
Yes, we could please bow our heads. Dear Lord, thank you for all the blessing you have bestowed upon us. As we gather here, we pray that this meeting is successful, is productive, and is blessed. Guide us, give us wisdom concerning all of the issues that we face on a daily basis. Lord, we give you the glory for what we accomplish, and as always, in your name we pray, amen.
Face the flag for a pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the Thank you. May be seated. Under public comments at this time, we have Evolving Steps Counseling. You can come to the podium, ma'am. Thank you.
We're Evolving Steps Council.
With a presentation of proclamation declaring the month of May 2019 as Older Americans Month. Ms. Cavazos.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. I'm going to go ahead and read the proclamation.
Is this los Amigos del Valle?
Yes.
Anybody here?
Yes, we do have, I know I saw some faces here.
Yes, yes.
Go
you
ahead.
can stand.
Welcome.
Okay. Whereas Amigos del Valle, Inc. includes a growing number of older Americans who enrich our community through their diverse life experiences. And whereas Amigos del Valle, Inc. is committed to strengthening our community by connecting with and supporting older adults, their families, and caregivers, and acknowledging their many valuable contributions to society. And whereas Amigos del Valle Incorporated recognizes the importance of bringing together all generations and engaging in activities that promote physical, mental, and emotional well-being for the benefit of all. And whereas Amigos del Valle Inc. can enhance the lives of older Americans in our community by promoting home and community-based services that support independent living, involving older adults in community events and other activities, and providing opportunities for older adults to work, volunteer, learn, lead, and mentor.
Now therefore be resolved that I, Mario Garza, by the power vested in me as mayor of the city of San Juan, along with Mayor Pro Tem Garcia, Commissioner Jesse Ramirez, Commissioner Ernesto Neto Guajardo, and Commissioner Lenny Sanchez, hereby proclaim May 2019 to be Older Americans Month. We urge every resident to take time during this month to recognize older adults and the people who serve them as central and valuable members of our community. Once again, thank you so much for being here. It's an honor to sign this proclamation. Ahorita, right now, what we're going to do is I'll sign it, and then we can bring everyone up front and take a picture with the whole commission. Thank you so much. God bless you guys, and God bless your families. Thank you.
Stay right here, stay in this area, and we're going to take a picture right now. Stay right here, we're going to take, okay, so let the commission come down, and we'll take a picture. Like, where is she? Like this, or let me let him go through first, and then I'll put it back. No, it okay, so it's not my finger, that's too bad. See that, you see what you're doing?
We continue? Okay, Mayor, Commissioner, this is a great example of community involvement. I really don't want to call it older Americans. I like to see it as wiser Americans, or like we said in Spanish, sabiduría de la gente mayor, adulta. So again, congratulations and thank you all so much for your involvement in our community. The next item, Mayor, Commissioner.
May I?
Go ahead.
Can the staff please stand up? I just want to recognize him. I'm the board member that represents Amigos del Valle, and this is part of the staff that works every day. Todos los días trabajan a llevarle especialmente a comidas a ancianos que no pueden venir al centro y hacen what we call Meals on Wheels. Y pues muchas gracias por todo lo que hacen ustedes, por estar seguros que esos gente de grande edad pueden agarrar una comida por día. Y hay veces que hasta los fines de semana también salen a darles comidas cuando especialmente que no tienen seres queridos que les puedan dar de comer. Muchas gracias y un fuerte aplauso para todos ustedes que hacen todo ese trabajo.
The next item, Mayor, Commissioners, and again, if I can break the order that is presented here.
Sure.
Not every day the school district is recognized in what they accomplish in the sports. So tonight, we'd like to represent or present to you all recognize the PSJ Lady Bears softball for the bi-district championship and the PSJ Bear baseball for the district championship. And that'll be Mr. Willingham.
Good evening, Mayor, Commission.
Good evening, sir.
To stand here this evening to present and recognize these next couple of groups of athletes. If not all of them, most of them, the majority of them have been through our programs at one point or another, representing the city at the city level, and have gone on now to represent PSJ High School. And both of them had an outstanding 2019 campaign. First, I'm going to start off with our Lady Bears. PSJ Lady Bears softball program had an outstanding season in 2019. The Lady Bears won their second bi-district championship in school history. The other was in 2015. The Lady Bears had an overall record of 27-10 and a district record of 12-2. The Lady Bears softball program will continue to move in the right direction and looks forward to bigger and better accomplishments in the near future. The Lady Bears are coached by head coach Eric Madera, assistant Alisa Garza, Romeo Luna, and Nelly Trevino. I'm going to go ahead and call up each one, and we can just make our way right over here so everybody can see you guys. First freshman outfielder Alexis Morin. Freshman infielder Brianna Horta. Sophomore pitcher Eli Aleman. Junior outfielder Ale Martinez. Next, we have freshman first baseman Anali Rodriguez. Senior catcher Madeline Lopez. Junior first baseman Catherine Padilla. Freshman infielder Caitlin Hoagland. Junior first baseman Madeline Singletary. And now we're going to recognize those who were honored to make the all-district team for 36A. 36A, honorable mention shortstop, Vivica Villarreal. .36A, honorable mention outfielder, freshman Jenna Guajardo. .36A, second team all-district outfielder, freshman Madison Lopez. .36A, second team all-district catcher, freshman Kayla Hernandez. 36A, second team, I'm sorry. I said Madison, right? I lost here, okay. Okay, here we go. 36A, first team, all-district pitcher, Elaine Madera. 36A, first team, all-district third baseman, Roxana Garza. I'm sorry. 36A, first team, all-district second base, Corey Cantu. And our 36A newcomer of the year, Ariela Sainz. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2019 by-district champion Lady Bear softball team. Let's give them a big round. Now, y'all can scoot this way so we can get a picture with that. Okay, next we're going to recognize our PSJ Bear baseball team. The Bear baseball team had another outstanding season this year. The Bears were the 36A district champions with an outstanding record of 12-2 in district and 24-8-1 overall. It was a disappointing, tough loss series against Laredo United in the bi-district championship in 3 games, losing 2 by 1 run. On the positive side, this team consisted of only 4 starting seniors and plenty of juniors and sophomores that were not expected to do as well as they did. The future of Bear baseball will continue to be successful, and we're looking forward to another great year next year. Winning the district championship this year was not easy. Moving to this district with plenty of talented teams was going to be a tough task, but our kids rose to the occasion and were not going to be denied. McAllen High had won this district for the last 3 years in a row, and this year the Bears took over that title. This year we had a group of young talent that consisted of 3 freshmen, 3 sophomores, 12 juniors, and 6 seniors, and the experience they got will help them greatly in the years to come. In the last 10 years, the Bears have won 8 district championships and were runner-up the other 2 years. The Bear baseball program will continue to move in the right direction, and we look forward to bigger and better accomplishments in the near future. The Bears are coached by head coach Marco Guajardo, first assistant coach Luis Perraza, varsity assistant Matt Benavides, pitching coach and JV dart coach Mikey Garcia, and JV light coach Rolando Navarro. I know some of the players are not here due to other engagements, but I'm going to go ahead and just call them out. And as you as I call you all, you can just come forward. Number 2, Juan Zambrano. Number 3, Cesar Cantu. Number 4, Omar Alcantara. Number 5, Ariben Gutierrez. Number 6, Justin Morales. Number 7, Elian Gonzalez. Number 8, Ricky Rodriguez. Number 9, Vigo Lopez. Number 11, Devin De Leon. Number 12, Marty Gamboa. Number 13, Marco Guajardo Jr. Give him a second here. Number 14, Roger Juarez. Number 15, Orlando Castillo. Number 18, Nevin Herrera. Number 19, Jacob Sanchez. Number 20, Noah Herrera. Number 21, Jason Garcia. Number 22, Santiago Palomín. Number 23, Trey Guajardo. Number 24, Diego Viescas. Number 25, Alex Piña. Number 33, Ezequiel Maruquin. Number 44, JD Vera. And number 00, Pablo. The Bears were very well represented in the all-district selections, and I'm going to call out their names, and if they're here, just step forward and let everybody know who you are. Honorable mention pitcher, Justin Morales. Honorable mention outfield, Marco Guajardo and Cesar Cantu. Honorable mention utility, Diego Viescas. Honorable mention third baseman, Noah Herrera. Second team all district pitcher, Elian Gonzalez. Second team first baseman, Jacob Sanchez. Second team second baseman, Juan Zambrano. Second team third baseman, Diego Viescas. First team pitchers, Juan Zambrano. Pitcher of the year for 36A was Ezequiel Maruquin. Defensive player of the year, Ariben Gutierrez. Offensive player of the year, Devin De Leon. And coach of the year for 36A was our coach, Marco Guajardo. Congratulations, guys. Maybe y'all can move over this way and we'll get a picture, please. Thank you.
Next item on the agenda, we have a presentation of proclamation proclaiming recognition of a career dedicated to increasing the education opportunities of farm worker, children, and youth to Dr. Jose Simon Villa. Ms. Cavazos.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. This proclamation is in recognition of a career dedicated to increasing educational opportunities of farm worker children and youth to Dr. Jose Simon Villa. Whereas Dr. Jose Simon Villa is the proud son of farm workers who spent 50 years working in the fields to feed their family and proud native of San Juan. And whereas, being the first in his family to obtain a college degree and wanting to give back the farm worker community the opportunity to reach the promise of the American dream. And whereas Dr. Villa migrated 19 years with his family until he began to dedicate his studies and career to advocate for farm worker families when he settled in Oregon. And whereas his dissertation research in higher education administration focused on the education aspirations of migrant youth, as well as educational opportunities for migrant children. And whereas Dr. Villa worked for many years with Ohio State University as the following: Assistant Vice Provost for the Office of Minority Affairs, Director of the College Assistant Migrant Program, and Program Coordinator for Hispanic Affairs. He also served as Program Consultant and State Director of Migrant Education with the Ohio Department of Education. And whereas he has led East Coast Migrant Head Start Project, a nonprofit corporation that provides high-quality and comprehensive Head Start services to farm worker families in 38 centers located from Florida to Pennsylvania as the Chief Executive Officer. And whereas East Coast Migrant Head Start Project is the largest migrant and seasonal Head Start services. It has delivered services to more than 10,000 children under his leadership.
Therefore, be resolved that I, Mario Garza, by the power vested in me as Mayor of City of San Juan, along with Mayor Pro Tem Pete Garcia, Commissioner Jesus Jesse Ramirez, Commissioner Ernesto Neto Guajardo, and Commissioner Lenny Sanchez, hereby issue May 2019 this proclamation to Dr. Jose Simon Villa.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is anybody here? No? No, Mayor. The next item, we have presentation of proclamation declaring May 15th as Peace Officers Memorial Day and the week of May 12th through the 18th as the National Police Week. With that, we have Chief Gonzalez here with us and some distinguished men in blue.
Commission, I apologize for a
Good
little bit
evening.
under the weather. So, step over here, Jim. This is our new officers here. I wanted to present. They've been with us. Some of them just going to start, and some of them started, so 2 years at the most. So, to my very right is Officer Ruiz, just came on board. Officer Sanchez been here, the department. Officer Sonia Chacon, Officer Chacon, Officer Rojas, two brothers, and obviously Officer Travis, new officer coming on board as well. So this is National Police Week throughout the nation. So I would like to read the proclamation.
Go ahead, sir.
Whereas in 1962, President John F. Kennedy signed a proclamation designating May 15 as Peace Officers Memorial Day and the week in which it falls as Police Week. And whereas the members of the San Juan Police Department play an essential role in safeguarding the rights and freedoms of the citizens of San Juan. And whereas it is important that all citizens understand the challenges, duties, and responsibilities of their police department, and that the members of our police department recognize their duty to serve the people by safeguarding life and property, by protecting them against violence or disorder, and by protecting the innocent against deception and the weak against oppression or intimidation. And whereas the Police Department of San Juan has grown to be a modern and scientific law enforcement agency which unceasingly provides a vital public service, now therefore be resolved. Mayor? Go ahead.
Therefore, be resolved that I, Mario Garza, by the power vested in me as mayor of the city of San Juan, along with Mayor Pro Tem Pete Garcia, Commissioner Jesus Jesse Ramirez, Commissioner Ernesto Neto Guajardo, Commissioner Lenny Sanchez, hereby declare May 12th through 18th, 2019 as National Police Week and May 15th as Peace Officer Memorial Day. According to City Council, formally recognize the 49th sworn members of San Juan Police Department for their faithful and loyal devotion to their responsibilities and their dedication to the community. Further, the City Council of the City of San Juan wishes to honor all police officers who, through their courageous deeds, have lost their lives and have become disabled in this performance of duty. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Commissioner. Can we take a
Sure.
picture?
The next item, Mayor Commissioners, we have a presentation of scholarship awards by the San Juan Fire Department.
Good evening, Mayor, Commissioners.
Good evening, sir.
We got 4 awards, scholarship awards for some students from PSJ, the district. We decided to open it up to all the schools. Before, we're just doing the Bears. I have Assistant Chief from the Volunteer Division, Rolando Casas, will be doing the presentation. We were fortunate enough this year to ante up the scholarships to 4. We're normally doing 2. And they're $500 each. So Mr. Casas will be doing the presentation.
Mayor, Commissioners, Chief, thank you. And once again, yes, thankfully, with your all support and the citizen support in supporting our fundraisers that we do have, as most of you know, the San Juan Fire Department is made of a combination fire department, both paid and volunteers. So our volunteers crew is a member of 20. And one of the fundraisers that we've had on an annual basis is our barbecue chicken sales that we do. We do the haunted house during Halloween and our raffle during that time as well. So with these fundraisers that we have, it's what's been able to support these scholarships. And again, like Chief said, thankfully this year we're able to jump that up to 4, when before we would only do 2. So myself, Lieutenant Medina and Chief and a couple of other individuals were able to go to the schools and present these awards there at the school district or at their award assemblies. But we were able to have the kids show up here and do this in front of you all to show them how much their education means to all of us as a community. So I'll just go ahead and read the names. Daniel Ray Garcia. Jacob Joseph Pinsiski. Dana Posada. And Itziana Martinez. Is that correct? Close enough.
I will go to A and B.
At this time, I'd like to recognize Mayor of the City of FAR, Mr. Dr. Ambrosio. Thank you, sir, for being here this evening with us. Thank you.
Now we can go back to item A, official canvassing of returns, May 4, 2019, city election for Commissioner, Place 4 and Commissioner, Place 5. Ms. Cavazos.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. The City of San Juan canvass results are the following for Commissioner Place Number 4. For Mr. Erasmo Eddie Garcia, 672. Leonardo Lenny Sanchez, 1,509. Absentee voting ballots cast, 20. Early voting ballots cast, 1,786. Election day ballots cast, 649, with a total ballots cast of 2,465. For Commissioner, Place Number 5, Mr. Pete Garcia, 1,175. Mr. Fernando Castillo, 244. Marco Marky Villegas, 1,024. Absentee voting ballots cast, 20. Early voting ballots cast, 1,796. Election day ballots cast, 649. Total ballots cast, 2,465.
The next item is issuing of certificate of election and the oath of office to the winning
Excuse me,
candidate.
was that the canvassing of the vote or just the report? With that, the canvassing, we need to take a
Approve.
motion to
Motion,
accept the
yeah.
canvass.
Yeah.
Make a motion to accept the.
Second by Coach Guajardo. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Now, this time we go with item B, the issuing of certificates of elections and official oath of office to the winning candidates. Ms. Cavazos.
Mrs. Sanchez. Hey, Judge, how you doing?
Good afternoon, everybody. I want to thank the commission for allowing me to be here this afternoon. As you heard Chief Gonzalez say, this week our government is recognizing National Law Enforcement Week. This is the week that we recognize everybody that wears a uniform, who protects our community and our society and allows us to enjoy the life that we enjoy. And they call it the thin blue line for a reason, because the officers of uniform, the men that wear the badge, the men that run onto the calls, they represent a small fraction of the community that they protect. And that's why they call it the thin blue line. The reason I say that, the reason I bring it up, is because about 15 years ago, if anybody's heard reference to Western Hidalgo County, they call it the Wild West. Well, as you can imagine, 15 years ago, it was a lot worse than what it is today. And I was a young city attorney back then, and at the time, I don't think you were the commander yet, but you were in law enforcement at the city of Palmview. And we were in the conference room of the police department of the city of Palmview, and we were trying to go over paperwork when a call came over the dispatch radio that there was a fugitive running loose at the Martin Valley Ranch. And he was to be presumed, this was from, I think it was a federal agency, and he was to be presumed armed and dangerous. The dispatcher was still talking when I remember Commissioner Sanchez running out the door looking for his keys and making sure he had his gun. This is your commissioner. This is who you have representing the city of San Juan. And that's why it's my honor to administer this oath of office to you at this time. Are you ready? In the name and by the authority of the state of Texas,
I,
Leonardo Lenny Sanchez,
Leonardo Lenny Sanchez,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
or affirm
or affirm
that I will faithfully
that I will faithfully
execute the duties
execute the duties
of the office
of the office
of City of San Juan,
of City of San Juan,
Commissioner Place 4
Commissioner Place 4
of the state of Texas,
of the state of Texas,
and will, to the best of my ability,
and will, and to the best of my ability,
preserve,
preserve,
protect,
protect,
and defend
the
the Constitution
and
and laws
laws
of the United States
of the United States
and of this state.
and of this state.
So help me God.
So help me God. First of all, I'd like to thank my family for being here and supporting me for 100%. There's some family members here. There's no mistake, some friends here that are joining me today. But I also like to thank the citizens of San Juan that actually instilled their trust in me and make sure that I lead this great city of San Juan, friendly city, in the right direction. You know, I'm honored to be here. I'm humbled by the presence of the city of San Juan that, like I said, put all trust in me, and my job is to make sure that we make the city work diligently and effectively for the best of our community. And thank you, San Juan. Thank you.
At this time, okay. At this time, I'd like to entertain a motion to recess, so that way we can spend 15, 20 minutes with Commissioner Sanchez and his family with some cake and good stuff over here to my left. So I'm going to go ahead and entertain a motion to recess. Is there a second? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
We're in recess at, what time is it? 6:43 PM.
changing batteries.
We're back on at 7:03. Is there a motion to reconvene?
So move.
Is there a second? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Go ahead, Mr. Arjona.
Mayor Commissioner, the second item is under presentation of the on departmental reports, Planning and Zoning Department, Parks and Recreation Department, San Juan Memorial Library, and the Department of Sanitation. Every department director is ready available. Should you have any questions?
Mr. Arguna Citrus, kind of got flooded today when it rained, so I know that they took care of it. They were trying to clean it up, but if we continue to get rain, I know that that drain is plugged up or.
This is the one by Citrus, right?
Yeah.
Yes, as a matter of fact, I know that a couple of weeks ago, and David Salinas, the utilities director, and myself were talking about that. How is it that we can bring it back and maybe entertain the idea of bringing that, and I don't know what it is called, Mr. Salinas. It's called the rotor or something where they take it into the, go ahead.
It's a root cutter. It's a mechanical
cutter.
root cutter, so we can put it in, because one of the things that we found the last time we cleaned it, there's a lot of roots in that line. So as people, throw away debris improperly, it flies out. One of the things that we found the last time we cleaned it were a lot of plastic, those styrofoam cups from, I'm not gonna mention the store, but from convenience stores, and paper plates, stuff like that get stuck up in the roots, and then they start clogging the line. I know the Vector truck was out there right now trying to unclog it. They weren't very successful, but I have another truck coming in tomorrow morning, because our truck is down. We're waiting on another quote to get it repaired. We can vacuum with it, but we can't jet. So Edinburgh sent the truck, but they were having problems with it, so we couldn't use it. So the city of Westlaco is going to let us borrow a truck tomorrow, so we can hit it again tomorrow and take a look at it. But some of the water is receding. It's just moving a little bit slower, so it should be empty by tomorrow morning or later this evening, because it is starting to flow.
There's like a 40% chance of rain.
Yeah,
So
tomorrow
just, stay on top of it, because
Yeah.
we don't want people saying, hey, we're already flooding, and
Yeah,
it's just one street, but
Yeah.
they
Yeah,
kind of.
one of the issues that we have there's a section of it that's well over 600 feet. That's longer than the hose that any of the Vector trucks carry. So one thing that I was discussing with the sanitation director, public works director, is putting it in his budget for next year to put another manhole in between the long length, so it makes it easier for us to be able to maintain that line. Because right now we can't reach from one side of the line to the other, so we can't completely jet out the line in one shot. So by installing a manhole halfway, we'll be able to jet it completely and be able to vacuum out all that debris and get it out of the way.
Next thing, Mr. Why are we charging $50 to replace trash cans if they're broken?
Why are we
No,
charging
yeah.
$50?
I feel that sometimes, if it's them doing the damage, I understand, but if it's our garbage trucks doing the damage or damaging the lids, some of the taxpayers are saying that they get, charged a $50 for
Okay.
replacing it.
I'll look into that, Commissioner, and make sure that if it's something that maybe it was done by our own people, the grapplers or the vehicle itself, we can take care of that. Can we look into that, Mr. Garza, please? Thank you.
If I may, Mayor.
Go ahead, sir.
Mr. Salinas, I know I received a call yesterday, no, mentiras, it was Sunday, and I forwarded it to Mr. Arjona regarding some, I guess it's waste that was oozing out of a manhole, remember?
Yes.
Apparently the truck, what's
It was
going
sort
on?
of back up, it was over at East 15th, I think it was in that cul-de-sac.
Yes.
There was a sort of blockage. Apparently the call went out. We're still investigating right now because our staff is saying that they never got the call. But then I started hearing exactly what you said, that somebody told them that the truck was down.
Right.
I wasn't made aware until Mr. Arjona called me at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and then I called the supervisor for that department, and he hadn't been notified as well. So right now, we're trying to see where the ball was dropped on our side, because it was on our side. The calls came through. The staff that was supposed to get that call hasn't been able to give us a proper response on what happened. So as soon as we find out, we did call the city of Edinburgh, and they were able to assist us, so we jetted down. We cleaned the line, so it's been taken care of. But nobody made a phone call to the proper people to get it going. So right now, I have the supervisor conducting the investigation, Mr. Murillo. Unfortunately, we did have a lightning strike or something last night at the lift station that's over by the fire department, so it burnt out the entire panel out there, so we having to bypass. So he spent most of his day out there trying to get that taken care of. But as soon as I get that information, I'll pass it on to Mr. Arjona so he can pass it on to you guys.
My main question was, Mr. Salinas, as far as the equipment that was needed, we don't have it? Or
We do, but it's broken. That's what I was saying. The Vector truck that I'm borrowing from Wesco, it broke down. We're waiting on one final quote to get it down because the last quote that we have is over $9,000 to get it fixed.
Okay.
And we want to make sure that if we get it fixed, that we're using original equipment for the machine because the gentleman that gave us the lowest quote is providing secondary parts. They're not using original equipment. The last time we did that, it broke like a day or two after the warranty period, and they wouldn't warranty the items, so.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Go ahead, sir.
We're going back to the citrus situation. I know Mr. Mayor Pro Tem touched that issue. But, you know, I've experienced something a couple years back in the city I was working at. And I know that you're going to send somebody to break those roots. Well, by experience, obviously the pipe is broke. So sufficient amount of water will actually, possibly at one point, will actually have that pipe collapse. So if those pipes are running in front of the homes and it collapses, we might be involved in some type of hazardous area in that. So is there a way that we can assess the damage? Because actually it's a damaged pipe. So if we can actually look at the damage to see if we can assess, maybe we can fix the problem, because if we continue the problem, we're going to invest money in breaking trucks and so forth, and the problem will still continue tomorrow. We're about a month away from hurricane season, and those are the things that I'm looking at this point. It's been a year in June, and we still haven't fixed the problem, and we still have it.
Well, the first thing, Commissioner, you are correct. The first thing we need to do is of course, clean out the roots, because I can't put a camera down the system with all the roots there. Once we clean out the roots, then we'll send a camera down the line to assess it. And one of the proposals we're looking at is CIPP, cure in place pipe, so we can slip line the line, because it is right in front of properties. So the last thing we want to do is cause more issues for the property owners there. So this way we'll be able to slip the line once we identify where the area is at, where all this is coming. And basically it'll line the concrete line that's there right now, the RCP, with either a felt type line that with a resin turns into a hardened fiberglass type line, or a polychlorinated or superchlorinated high ethylene plastic that gets cured with UV. So once it's inserted into the line, it'll get expanded with air, and then it's cured with UV and becomes as hard as PVC pipe. So that's one of the options we're looking at, so we won't have to tear up that street again.
Okay. That's it. Also, Chiefs, are we already ready for emergency management when hurricane season is around the corner? What are the plans, and where are we preparing for that issue that's coming up? Hopefully, we don't get anything severe in the summer.
Commissioner, we had our first emergency management meeting yesterday. It went well. It's just a matter of organizing our resources, getting prepared. I will give you another meeting, or I'll touch up with you all at the next meeting this month, like that we can let you know exactly where we're at. But right now, the directors are pretty much evaluating what they have, sandbags, resources, the equipment that we have, so we can get prepared. But we're pretty much prepared as far as, the equipment that we have. Yes, sir?
Go ahead.
Mr. Arjona, I know that I have requested the minutes for the different boards that we have participating here in our city, and for the most part, I thank you, because I did see that we do have minutes, with the exception of Parks and Rec. So I was wondering, are they not meeting, Mr. Willingham, or do we have an issue with the board members that are not attending, or what's the status there? That's the only one? Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay.
Commissioner,
It's not because of lack of quorum or anything. We're good. All right. Okay. Thank you, sir.
What we can do, Commissioner, also is say there's no meetings during that month. We can say no minutes.
Yeah, just,
Or no
yeah,
meetings.
that would work. Thank you.
The only thing I have, Mr. Salinas, in reference to the issue on citrus, I know Commissioner Sanchez touched up on it since June 2018. We've been having this, well, the issue's been there forever, you know. But I'd like to see maybe here within the next 2 weeks, the status or what type of assessment you guys are working on. Because like he mentioned, hurricane season's around the corner, you know. So my question to you, from June 2018 all the way to now, what has been done?
So that, the only thing we did jet it several times to clean it, to get it to flow.
And how many times was that?
I think we jetted it about 4 different times.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, if you can just give us a status.
No problem.
Yeah,
I can-
and just
I can do
inform
that.
the commission as well. Thank you, sir. Any other questions for the directors? Go ahead, sir.
Thank you. The next item under public hearings and ordinances, consider adoption of an ordinance in the first reading of the voluntary annexation of the proposed Hacienda San Fernando subdivision, being out of Lot 7, Block 9, Lot 5, Block 13, John Clausen subdivision of Porciones 71 and 72, as per the map recording volume 0, page 4, map records, Hidalgo County, Texas, located approximately 1,000 feet on Nebraska Avenue along the south side of Moore Road.
Mayor Commissioners, this is a first reading for a voluntary annexation. Started this process March 6, 2019. This is a, where is it? What we did was we submitted, it's located on Moore Road in, between Nebraska and Stewart. It's for a residential subdivision. What we're going to do is attached with this ordinance, we're going to have the service agreement plan. We did the 2 public hearings. We also are doing the 2 readings, the first reading and the second reading. Once this annexation goes into place, we'll be sending out letters to the appraisal district, the elections office, TxDOT, the Texas Gas Service, drainage district, so that they know that it's actually within the city limits already. So this is just the first reading. After we have this, it'll be an official document, and it'll be annexed into the city. And it'll be zoned residential, because when you do a voluntary annexation, it's automatically zoned single-family residence. Yeah.
Any questions for Mr. Robert at this time? No? If not, is there a motion to approve?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
The next item, hold a public hearing and consider an ordinance in the first reading for a rezoning request from Expressway Corridor District EC to Single Family Resident District of 15.932 acre tract of land out of Lot 3, Block 35, Alamo Land and Sugar Company subdivision located approximately a quarter of a mile west of Cesar Chavez Road along the south side of Sergeant Leonel Trevino Road, requested by Estefania Rios. On this item, Mayor Commissioners, there's a gentleman that came, I'm sorry.
Actually, I
Yeah,
had
it's
spoken
gonna-
to Mr. Robert in reference to this item on the agenda, and he's asking the commission to go ahead and take no action.
No
right?
action.
Am I correct?
They submitted a letter, yes, to take no action on the item.
Table.
The letter says tabled, but I believe the attorney had,
You do either one, the problem is that table, if they don't have the information, it comes automatic back next
Right.
meeting. If you do no action, then you can bring it back whenever that additional information comes in.
No
So
action,
it's up to this council.
Well, I was just going by what he submitted, that's all. But, okay, no action.
No action. Thank you, sir.
No action?
Yes, sir. No action.
Next item under C, hold a public hearing and consider an ordinance in the first reading for a conditional use permit to open an event center and sale of alcoholic beverages for on-premise consumption at the proposed Magnolia Events Center located 205 West Nolana Avenue, Suites 9 and 10, legally described as Lot 1, San Juan Plaza subdivision, as requested by Jose Santos.
this is a conditional use request for an event center, and it's for Magnolia Event Center. This is located on North Raul Longoria and Nolana Avenue. It's on the south side of Delia's Tamales. It's a new plaza that was built, so they're asking for a conditional use permit for that on-premise. It's submitted by Jose Santos. They did submit the application. We also provided the advertisement that was in the newspaper and sent letters to the residents within the 200-foot radius. It's currently zoned general business, C2. The requirements for the conditional use permit will be to get the TABC license, the occupational permit. There's also parking requirements. That plaza has 124 parking spaces, which is plenty of parking area. They have to also comply with all city ordinances, noise ordinance, security camera, and they also have to pay their annual license fee for alcohol and just meet all the ordinances that the city has. The Planning and Zoning Commission did also approve this as well.
Okay, at this time, I'm going to go ahead and open this up at 7:18 PM. 7:18 PM. Is there anyone here for or against? For or against? Any questions for Mr. Robert, members of the commission?
Is that like a little convenience store or
It's gonna be an event center.
an event center?
Yeah, so they're kind of,
It's just gonna be when they rent it, it's not like,
yeah, they're gonna be actually like a bar. It's gonna be more of an event center where they'll do like quinceañeras and then baby showers, things like that.
I had one question. Once they're operable, do we go back and inspect?
Before they open, we occupational, what was it?
How about after the fact?
Yeah, every year we actually have to go out and inspect the building
So they
again.
open and then a year later you go?
We go again, yes. We send out letters to all the businesses, and then we go and re-inspect as well. And the fire department also inspects as well.
Any other questions? Not, I'm going to go ahead and, no? We're good. I'm going to go ahead and close. Go ahead, sir. I'm sorry.
On the proposal, he asking his preparation for the days and hours of operations on Sundays through Saturday from 11 to 12. I believe Sundays, Kingsville will be here till 12, after 12.
Yeah, it has to be at 12 noon.
Okay,
They
because
can-
he has here from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Sunday through Saturday.
Yeah, so he wouldn't be allowed to.
Okay.
If the ABC found
Just
out
make
that
sure-
they were doing that,
just make sure it's clear on
they could
that.
take the license.
No other questions? I'm going to go ahead and close this at 7:19 PM. Is there a motion to approve?
So move.
Is there a s-
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
The next item on the discussion and possible action, an authorized and budget amendment for the repair of the wastewater treatment plant receiving well, and authorize city manager to execute all related documents and budget amendment. Mr. Salinas.
Good evening, Mayor Commissioners. If you all may recall, back last year, around July, I brought this agenda item to commission. Unfortunately, back then, the company that was supposed to do the job was not able to mobilize in time to do it, so at the end of the year, we had to close out that PO. So this is just basically, the money was put back in the coffers, we didn't account for it in this year's budget, so the budget amendment will pull that money back in there so we can get that work done at the wastewater plant. I don't know if y'all remember back in June, during the same floods, we had some issues. We did submit all that stuff to FEMA. So far, we didn't get any funding from FEMA to take care of that, so we're going to take care of it out of the fund that had already been approved last year. So I'm just asking to reappropriate money this year to take care of that project.
so move.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Next item, discussion and possible action on ratifying a cooperation agreement with Home Depot working on project in conjunction with the Habitat for Humanity on cleaning up a veteran's home and yard along with some beautification to the home's yard located 113 West 9th Street. Last week, or week and a half ago, Mr. Roel Garza, Director of Sanitation, received a phone call, was contacted by Home Depot, Assistant Store Director, Manager Germano Ochoa, asking the assistance from the city if we could lend them a roll-off container. They're doing some work on this gentleman's home. Again, it's on 113 West 9th Street. He's a veteran. He served the community well. He served the country well. I think it's almost fair that we give something back to the gentleman. And the reason we're saying ratifying is because that allowed Mr. Roel Garza to provide that roll-off container. So I'm bringing it before you all, the commission, since they should have started the work today.
Yes, sir. The beautification project was held this morning. I went out there and spoke to Mr. Ochoa, and we saw the amount of debris and that was being compiled, and there was no need for a roll-off container. So we actually had our grappler, which we are in the southeast quadrant, pick up the debris.
Good.
But Mr. Gomez was very emotionally gratified and thankful for all the help from Home Depot and from Habitat for Humanity. It was a great project on behalf of Home Depot and Habitat for Humanity.
So the next item under contractions and resolution, consider approve and enter into interlocal cooperation agreement between the City of San Juan, Texas, and the County of Hidalgo Precinct 2 to construct a parking lot on city right-of-way at the Hidalgo County Regional Linear Park. This is the park over here by Bear Trail. What the county is proposing is to construct 9 parking spaces, 1 handicapped and the other 1 regular parking spaces. And the reason it's right away is because it's closer to the curb. You can scroll down to the screen, Mr. Cavazos, and we can see where they're actually proposing to build that those parking spaces. It's not going to be a cost to the city at all. This is going to be all on the county. So currently, at this point, they don't have any parking spaces, so whoever's going over to do the walking or jogging or bicycling, they will need to park along the street or maybe across from where the PCA is at, a parking area. But this way, it'll give them at least 9 parking spaces so that people can go in and park there.
You mentioned that it was 1 handicap?
1 handicap, yes. It's the one on the very edge, the first one. And again, it's at no cost to the city.
Now, is that enough, for one handicap? Usually in different businesses and locations that I've seen, they're usually 2 or more, you know, I don't know,
It
Business
depends on the size
locations.
of the parking lot.
you know.
But I guess if additional parking spaces for handicapped are needed, we can always request from the county to designate another.
Okay. Is there a motion to approve?
So move.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
The other one is consider approve and enter interlocal cooperation agreement between the City of San Juan, Texas, and the County of Hidalgo Precinct 2 to jointly undertake certain reconstruction of roadway and drainage improvements to a portion of Cesar Chavez from Awasa Road to Sul Road. Again, the County Precinct 2, they're doing some construction work on Cesar Chavez from Awasa Road to Sul Road. It's about 10,500 linear feet. And there's about maybe 7,700 feet that lies within the jurisdiction of Hidalgo County. So they're proposing to do an overlay between, like I said, between Wassa Road to Sul Road and no cost to the city. They'll take and they'll do it at their expense.
Questions? Not, is there a motion? to approve?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
The next one is consider a resolution to approve a water line access agreement between the North Alamo Water Supply Corporation, the City of San Juan, and Calixto Hernandez Incorporated. Mr. Escobar.
Mayor, Commissioners, this is basically just a water line access agreement. It's basically saying that the city, if we need to use a fire hydrant, we're only going to use it for fire protection, and we're not just going to be using it to, just pump out water, that we want to use, but it'll be for the fire protection. And then this is for the Golden Chick that's constructed there.
Any questions for Mr. Robert? If not, is there a motion to
So
approve?
move.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Next item, consider resolution, issue and order a notice of San Juan runoff election. Ms. Cavazos.
As per the Election Code, Subchapter B, runoff election, a runoff election is required if no candidate for a particular office receives the votes necessary to be elected in an election requiring majority vote. In this case, we're going to have a runoff election, sorry, on June 8th for place number 5. The candidates for the runoff are Mayor Pro Tem Pete Garcia and Mr. Marky Villegas. In your packet, in page 158 and page 160, you have the order of the election, and the only difference is the date. It's the exact same dates, but it's the times. The one on page 158 has the first day and the last day with 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., and the days in between from 8 to 5. The one on page 160 also has the first day and the last day as 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., and the days in between from 8 to 6. It is up to the commission as to which one y'all want to go for.
Is there any why they changed from last time to this time?
There is no reason as to why they changed. Like I said, it's an option. And one of the reasons that we looked at the time from 8 to 6 is because of the Memorial Day. If it wouldn't be a holiday, we would have 8 days instead of 7. So you get that additional hour, kind of like to make up for that Memorial Day. And also, because in the last election, in the last runoff election, as a matter of fact, Commissioner Guajardo was for your place number 2, it was 8 to 6. The days in between with 7 to 7, the first and the last day.
That was the May 2017
That was for the May
runoff
15,
election.
2017, that is
When
correct.
that was with Commissioner Guajardo and Rubio Muniz.
That is correct.
The hours were some, first day of early vote was 7 to 7, in between was 8 to 6,
That is correct.
and the last day was 7 to 7.
7 to 7, with the exception of Saturday. Saturday was from 8 to 5, but all the other days during the week were from 8 to 6.
That was a runoff.
That was a runoff. That is,
And the general election?
I'm sorry?
And the general election?
7 to 7.
No, the general election was at 7 to 7.
The day during the week.
The one year.
First time around. when
The
we
first time around, I do not have the hours on me, but those are typically 8 to 5. Yes,
hired this time around.
right.
And keep in mind that the last time that we had the runoff election, it was an election that was conducted by the city of San Juan, not by the county. Am I correct?
That is correct.
So, we were able to kind of, you know,
Okay.
set our hours or whatever, but this time we have the county assisting with this election, is that correct?
No,
Yes, that is
I make Mayor, you excuse me, but I want to make a motion that, just to keep it the same way we kept it on the re-election, from
Say
7
the
to
time.
7, Monday, it'll be Tuesday, 7 to 7, last day will be 7 to 7, and the rest of the days from 8 to 5.
Okay,
I make the motion.
I'd like, before we go
Okay.
into a vote,
Okay.
I'd just like to state this on the record, that when you ran back in 2017, the hours from 8 to 6, you got to understand that you need to give our community members their constitutional right to come out and vote. And if we give them that extra hour, you got to understand that there's a lot of working class here in our city. So with that 1 hour, you give them the right to come in and cast their vote. I don't think they're going to want to come in during their lunchtime and come cast their vote. If we give them that same hour, just like we gave you that extra hour in May of 2017 election, I think that's fair. That's fair for our citizens. I'd just like to state that on the record.
And,
I just want to
and,
state in the record, Dana, who gave you the orders to put from 8 to 6?
It wasn't an order, Mayor Pro
Who
Tem.
gave you the direction?
Mayor Garza did ask me if I could ask the city if that would be a possibility, considering the fact that they're the ones that are running the election runoff and the election.
Hold
And
on.
that's why the,
Let me repeat what I said. What I said was find out what are the different options the county can give us. That's what I said. So I'm clearing that for the record.
You have it in the record written, or it was just verbally?
it was verbally, but like I said, he asked for the possibilities of having it from 8 to 5 or from 8 to 6. And like I mentioned to you, Mayor Pro Tem, on our phone call as well, I was going to give it to the commission as an option. That's why I put both.
As an option.
As an
And you
option.
checked with the county, is that correct?
And I checked with the county to
Now-
make sure.
Now, if the county came back and said, we're going to have the election 8 to 5, in between, I respect that. But the county came back and gave you the option, you can either have it at 8 to 5 or 8 to 6.
That
All
is
I'm saying
correct.
is I'm just asking this commission to give our citizens 1 additional hour to cast their vote. That's it. And it can work for both sides. Doesn't matter.
Well, we got, actually, will compensate for the Memorial Day weekend because it's only 5 hours versus the 8 hours.
That's
So,
exactly one of the reasons why I placed it, because when Commissioner Guajardo was in the runoff, it was in the exact same dates across Memorial weekend. So that's why it was placed as an option.
and the only reason was that mine was run by the city and this is run by the county.
Yeah, the city had a little bit more.
More room to
flexibility.
play.
Of course, the county didn't want to, the county couldn't assist us with the election, so we had to basically take that under our own hands, is basically what happened.
But they gave us the option to run the election from 8 to 5 or 8 to 6.
Yeah, on this election.
Diana, this did not become an option until I questioned it. Because at first it was just one resolution.
No, sir, there was 2 resolutions made on the same day.
No, well, it was done in the same day, but not until I questioned it.
Whenever you called, there was Resolution at all. I hadn't made a resolution.
Walked in and I questioned it.
There was no resolution made.
No, it was made.
No,
but-
neither one of them was
So
made.
that's when it became
Only
an
the,
option.
only the times the only thing I did was ask a question to the county, and I got the feedback from them.
I see why Mayor wants it, and I see it also. So what's the reason why you want to keep it 8 to 5, Mr. Garcia, if you don't mind me asking?
That's the way we had the election.
The election, 8 to 5?
But on his runoff in May 2017, we had it 8 to 6. What's the difference? You don't want to give our citizens one additional hour?
There's elections that we have only had 5 early vote dates. So this,
I don't think that's a good
What's
reason.
1 hour? Hey,
What's
let's
the
give our
what's the reasoning
citizens an
for it?
opportunity to cast their vote in 1 hour, that's it. 1 additional hour, 8 to 6.
And you would have those 8 hours if you had Memorial Day weekend, but when we don't, we try and compensate that hour. So I already got a reason, but you still haven't given me a good reason why we should keep it 8 to 5.
You got to understand, because our citizens are the ones that elected us here. So in respect, we got to give them that 1 hour.
Okay?
Well, my motion still says it's from, keep under the 7 to 7, from 8 to 5.
Second the motion?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Aye.
Aye.
It's okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next item, consider resolution number 2019-10, denying AEP Texas Incorporated application request for distribution of rate increase. AEP Texas request for approval of its base rates increases to be denied. The existing rates and charges to AEP Texas are found to be just and reasonable rates, and for the city to adopt such existing rates and to continue to be observed and to be enforced as it has been. The staff and AEP recommends denial of the rate increase. We're recommending, and AEP is recommending denial of the rate increase from AEP.
Any questions?
As recommended by staff?
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
The next item is pretty much the same as consider resolution 2019-11, but in this case denying Texas Gas Service application request for distribution rate increase. Texas Gas Service requesting approval of its base rate increase. The existing rates and the charges to Texas Gas Service are found to be just and reasonable rates, and for the city of San Juan to adopt such existing rates and to continue to be observed and to be enforced as it has been. Staff recommends denial of the rate increase as well.
Again, motion to approve as recommended by staff?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Consent.
Next, we're going to consent agenda. We have a couple of items, budget expenditure report on March 2019 and the quarterly investment reports from March 2019.
This time, is there anything that we need to modify or amend under consent agenda? If not, is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a
Second.
second? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
The next item of executive session, the San Juan City Commission will convene an executive session in accordance with the Texas Open Meetings Act, Ordinance, Texas statutes, and Code Annotated Government Code, Chapter 551.071, consultation with attorney in Texas Government Code, pursuant to Texas Government Code 551.071, consultation with attorney, discussion and possible action regarding legal concerning longevity pay for non-civil service employees.
This time, we'll be going in executive session. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a
Second.
second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. We'll go in executive session at 7:37 PM. Second?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. At this time, under executive session, we're going to take no action. Is that correct? Right, okay. Is there a motion to adjourn?
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
This meeting has been adjourned at 7:53 PM. Thank you.